Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Levi the Eggers, and welcome to part 3 of my tier list video. Now, the reason why I split it in 3 parts is because, put simply, people's attention spans are limited, and the only way this would possibly work is in a live stream, and I do not have a big enough following to have a live stream. On top of that, the YouTube algorithm does not work well with live streams, so that is why I have it like this in 3 parts. So hopefully you guys appreciate it, and let's just jump into the third and hopefully final part. I'm going to try to keep this around 45 minutes at the very most, just because, I mean, that's a long time to watch a video for. But, you know, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you think it's in depth enough. Hopefully it made you appreciate some of these characters more. So let's get into this. Alright, here we go. So here's where we left off. Here, yep, S tier. This is superior, by the way. This is superior, but it's S plus. I know what S plus is supposed to mean, so this is superior. So only one character's going here. This is superior. A you can see here. I mean A plus you can see here. A you can see here. B, I hate to call these characters B characters because really in any other show they'd be some of the best characters, but fortunate to go there. Here are the characters who are great, but really lacked screen time. Although I probably and you know if a character that you liked got lower than he probably should have. Sorry, they probably could go higher. Like Carla could probably bump up to the B tier, but I might move her here right now. Yeah, I'm not going to actually. There's a lot of characters that are could morph into different areas, especially around this area right here, this CB tier. D, yeah, just regular characters. Although Yelena probably could move up. I'm gonna move her up. F tier, yep, and NA basically not enough screen time to even make a decision. These are characters who have like 3 lines and are there for like 10 minutes total. So yeah. Alright. Now our next character is Jean. Jean is actually a really good character. Jean has, when I say postmodern, I'm not referring to the philosophy of postmodernism. I'm actually referring to the time period of postmodernism. Okay, so, but Jean does have your regular postmodern character arc. He's a spineless coward who wants to go to the MPs, not for the same reason that Marco does, but simply because he wants to live a good life in the interior, which, I mean, do with that what you will, but then he ends up becoming more brave as the story progresses, and Marco's impact on him is very big, and he decides he's going to actually, what Yama says, when a character dies, they just live on other characters, and so he absorbs these good qualities of Marco into him. It's another thing. People keep saying that Marco's death was, irrelevant or had shock value or, things like that. Marco's death was actually incredibly important to the growth of Jean's character. And it's a shame I have to point that out because I thought that was fairly obvious, but yeah, it has to get pointed out. But yeah, so Jean, I'm actually gonna put in, I'm gonna put him in the A tier because, yeah. Wait, where did he go? There he is. Alright, yeah, so I'm putting him in the A tier because, see, and one of the best things I like about him, post time skip, is, he actually knows what Aaron's doing is right. Or not right, but, justified. And he knows that he's right. It's either us or it's them. But he does not dance around it like most of these characters do. Armin pretends like he can find another way or that there's another option, and he's not actually speaking his true intentions. Of course, Hanji misses genocide as wrong. I hated that scene so much. I still do. Not because it's a bad scene, it's because it's annoying. they're all, dancing around it, and John is like, yeah, he's right, but we're gonna do this anyway. So I appreciate that, frankness of him. For instead, again, post time. This is a post time skip level he has. He has a great, depth beforehand, but he has really good depth post time skip. And another reason is that another thing that I want to talk about John. I actually forgot. I forgot what I was going to say about John. But yeah, so that is why I put him in the A tier. Pretty good character, pretty great character. He actually used to be a Sion's favorite character. That has since changed. But he's a fan favorite, and for obvious reasons, he's a pretty great character. All right, this person, who is that? Is that? Oh, okay. This guy's going straight to the C tier. In fact, he might even go to the. Where can I put him? I put him in the A tier. Now, again, lots of you guys might get mad at me for putting him in the A tier because he barely gets any screen time. Yes, I understand. Alright, he doesn't get that much screen time, and if you want to put him lower, you can put him lower. For those of you who do not know, this is Arthur Browse, aka Mr. Browse, aka Sasha's father. And he's an amazing character for the same reason that Pixis is, although he has less depth, I'd say, than Pixis. He actually reiterates one of the main themes and lessons of Attack on Titan. I wish I can zoom in on this. Let's see. No. Yeah, one of the main themes, which is forgiveness, burdening the sins of the past, and getting the importance of children, and getting the children out of the forest. Which that's the analogy he used. Yeah. So again, I put him again. One can make a very good argument that he should be in the B or C tier. I totally understand. Actually, maybe not the C tier, but the B tier. But he is a very, very good character, and I'm this close to even putting him in the A tier because this guy, I'm telling you, he is integral to Attack on Titan. He is the solution. I mean, not the solution, but because there is no solution. That's the right. The lesson is, and I forgot to add to my corniness video, but the lesson is no amount of violence, no amount of diplomacy will solve everyone's problems. But so there's no solution per se, but the way to find happiness, the way to keep moving forward, the way to leave a good life for the next generation is to try to get them out of the forest, and that is the message of this guy. It says he has the macro message, the global message, the international message here. Armin has the personal one. Well, there's a lot of messages and morals and themes, but he has one of the macro ones, and he probably should be in the A+ tier, but seeing how he gets barely any screen time, I probably should use an A tier for now. But yeah, very good character, very appreciative of him. Yeah, what is this? Is this Marcel? Or Nicola? No, it's not Nicola, obviously. Porco? This is Porco. It has to be Porco. Yeah, it's Porco. Yeah. Yeah, not enough. Very basic guy. Or did I already do Porco? Let's see. No, didn't I? Yeah, very basic character, not that important. Who is this person? That's not Dina. This is Reiner's mom. This is who I think it is, and I think this is Reiner's mom. I'm gonna put her C tier. Just for a character development at the end. That was pretty sweet. So Astoria. Alright, now of course I think most of you have been excited for this. Yeah, guess where Astoria is going, guys? I'm pretty sure you guys all know. Yeah, straight to the A+ tier. Yeah, so obviously very, very good character here. She and her partner in crime, Amir. Where's Amir? There she is. Explain the nature and virtue of selfishness, which is really strange to see, and how it's like to live for yourself, and how actually it's more selfish. Because I say I would explain on my story video. She's actually being more selfish, being a perfect little princess than she was being just living for herself. It was a great message in there. Lots of character development, lots of depth. but also she's still not. She still does get character development because you'll notice back in season 3, she was perfectly willing to cast away humanity. Although the premise was a little bit different because her father was a very untrustworthy source. Not very untrustworthy. He had knowledge. He was just untrustworthy. His intentions were untrustworthy. She was getting all this information from her father. So that the premise is a little bit different, is what I'm trying to say. But she was still willing to cast away humanity for the sake of saving one person who she liked, which was Eren, of course. Very, 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 very selfish move of her. But then, of course, later on, what maybe it's a line that's drawn a character development, whatever you want to call it. She then decides that she does not want to do the same thing for Eren and the rumbling. Until so that she couldn't live with herself if he did in fact initiate the rumbling, and that they all benefited from it. But then he has to actually invoke that when she did not care about the rest of him and just care about Eren. He had to actually invoke that to get her to manipulate her to have that kid. Now the other thing about Astoria is her parallels to, of course, or her juxtaposition, I should say, to Mikasa. Now, most people don't mention that a lot. Maybe she probably should honestly go here, but she doesn't get much screen time. But that she's supposed to basically, she's the exact opposite of Mikasa, and we like seeing that in literature where we have characters that parallel each other and stuff like that. So that is really cool there. Yeah, great character. And also, she's the main reason why Eren's plan worked out in the first place. Because had she had not been there, the Jaegers would have killed the Traitor Corps. And no, the moniker Traitor Corps I don't really disagree with. I just feel it's disingenuous. It's a true label. It's just I just think it's disingenuous. And I won't elaborate past that. But yeah, very good character here. And also, she actually is what the audience is supposed to, she's supposed to teach the audience how to be a lady, right? And her daughter, which is why she has a daughter, to be a lady, which is, live for yourself, do right, stuff like that. Pretty cool stuff there. Now we're gonna go on to Elves. So we went from a great character to a highly relevant character. Yeah, you're going there. Not enough screen time. Sorry, buddy. You probably were a good guy. But yeah, no. And now on to King Flock, who's actually, I think, my third favorite character at one point. Yeah, this guy is freaking awesome. I want to put him in the A+ tier. I don't know. What should I do with you? He doesn't get that much screen time. You'll notice that the people... think about this right now. We have the S tier contains, and the only people that I put in the S tier would be Historia and maybe Annie. So you get people who had lots of screen time, compared to Flock, who did not get much screen time. Or maybe he's comparable to some people, but what should I do with this? Yeah, A or A+. It's a tough decision. Does he belong in the A or A+ tier? Damn, this is hard. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm actually gonna put him. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. Okay, so A tier, King Flock. Yeah. So very, very great character. I think did he come from the military police or from the garrison? Let's see. Let's see. Did he come from the military police or... Hey, he was born in October. That's cool. It's cool because I was born in October. That's why it's cool. Alright. Let's see. Story... oh, it's from garrison. Okay, he's from the garrison. Oh, wait, and former garrison. Yeah. Okay, so he's from the garrison. So he is not in the Survey Corps to begin with, but he eventually joined the Survey Corps, and he was asking the recruits, what it was like to be there, and you could tell by their faces apparently how much they've been through, all the wars and stuff like that. But that's how he starts out. He starts as a humble character. No one knows about him. I mean, I knew who he was, but I know who a bunch of these random people are. Most people don't know who these people are. But yeah, so he is incredibly does an incredibly heroic thing that actually brings up Commander Erwin from his deathbed, which would be a pile of rocks, and brings him up to Levi to heal him. Yeah, great stuff there. Immediately gain respect for this guy. Then he grew more from this. I don't want to say he's a coward. He definitely was not a coward per se, but he was, the main vocal. He was vocal about how meaningless stuff was, and Commander Erwin, said otherwise about how the members of their comrades lives on in them, and so on and so forth, and then they're gonna, defeat the Beastland and whatnot. But he grew into more and more of a badass, so to speak. Yeah, Commander. I mean, he was the head of Jaegers, and he was slowly starting to realize. He had the same realization that John made. Him and John are actually more like you guys think. He and John had the same realization, only he instead of being, I don't know how these two men came to these different conclusions. I don't know why Aaron did. I don't know how he came to this conclusion. He decided, if it's Eldia or it's the rest of the world, I'm going to choose Eldia, and that is perfectly fine. Makes sense. He's an Eldia national. That's totally fine. Perfectly fine for him too. He cares about other people, people he does not know the name of. So, great stuff here. Both these people are selfless, brave men who do what they think is right. So very good character there. And he died like an absolute champ. Not gonna lie. I mean, when we thought he got shot, then he strapped onto the airship, and then, finally Mikasa did him in. My anger for Mikasa was on 10 when it happened. Oopsie. My anger for Mikasa was on 10 when that happened. I was so pissed off with her. But I was like, okay, everything's. You have to remember that everything was playing out according to Aaron's wishes, and I was, again, at heart an Aaron fan. So, Flock, which is a very good proxy between Aaron and the rest of the characters. So, yeah, very pissed off there for doing that. But Dead Like a Champ had amazing last words, and he was right. Only a devil could save Parody, but not. Parody can't be saved from anything. But yeah, great words there, great philosophy, brave man. Let's see, who is this guy? Such a roller coaster, I swear. Oh, that's Moblet. I'll put him in the seats here just because he was so loyal to Commander Hanji. And that's about it. Nanaba. The way she died was depressing, so I'll put her in the D tier. That was horrifying. I had nightmares about this. Not little nightmares, but still very horrifying. Who is this fellow? Where is this Colt? I always confuse Cole and Niccolo. Who is this person? That must be Niccolo. That's gotta be Colt. Okay, so yeah, I know. So Colt is an amazing character that I like, and he does not get Kring Town, so I'm actually gonna put him in the B tier. But he has, he actually says, he doesn't have that much of an impact on the story, but he has one line that's really, really, really impactful. I really, really like, and that would be when Gabby is, and this line is apparent to those in the audience who are reading this. Actually, no, it's actually not apparent to the audience. Our Titan folks still can't figure it out. Neither can Jaegerbomb, but Gabby was like, okay, you know what? I thought the Elves are the devils. I was wrong. They're not devils, right? I'm actually a devil. And then Colt says there's a devil in everyone, which should be plainly obvious to everyone, right? Because the Elves are devils. They're very evil people, as we know. And the Marlins are devils, as we know. And Aaron's a devil, as we know. And so is Mikasa and Armin and Connie and everyone else. Right? The only person who's not a devil is Marco, with the draw from another show. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Very great line there. Although those are a dime a dozen in Attack on Titan. But yeah, that's the only reason why Marco isn't a devil. Yeah, so very great line there. And this is why Parody getting destroyed at the end of the story does not he's not ruining anything, because that should be expected, because the aliens are really bad people, as we know. They are. It's undisputed that they're bad people. So, and again, Isayama did not have time to write this from both the perspective of the Marlians and Eldians, so he told you the story of what the Eldians did, and you're supposed to go, oh, we're not the good guys, we're actually the bad guys, right? But people still don't get it. RSS Time Focus doesn't get it. No one gets it. Yeah, this guy's lines go completely underestimated, and he really wraps up a lot of things in the story. Alright, also his sacrifice for his brother was completely worthless. That was very sad, for no good reason. That was a very... I forgot to mention that in my emotional moments video, but yeah, that was a terrible, terrible situation when he died for his brother. That was awful, awful. Marlowe was great. See, Marlowe was a character who, you know, wanted to fix the survey core. He was sort of like Eren. He didn't know that Hitch had feelings for him until it was way, way too late. And then he died, just like Eren. Which is kind of weird. I don't know if that was on purpose or an accident, but who knows? only Amir knows that one. But he's a great character, and he's a really noble guy, but he is in a horrible, corrupt system, and he's just he's a guy you can root for, a guy that's noble. Not that much depth, because again, didn't get much screen time, but I'll put him in the B tier. Alright, great guy there. Captain Levi. C, I guess. Does he have depth? Yes. Does he have a personality? Yes. But, yeah, there really is nothing special or cool about him. He's a great character, especially for in Season 1 or Season 2. He's awesome. But, so much better characters than him. Commander Erwin. Oh, yes. Yes. Favorite of Jaegerbaum. And again, the famous question: what would Erwin do if he was still around? That to me always seemed like a stupid question, because obviously the answer would be he would not be around, because he'd commit suicide. We know this because he was drunk on finding information, proved his father's theory right, and once his father's theory was proven right, what was he supposed to do? You have to be on powerful dreams and aspirations to do the things that he did, and to engage in the sort of political discourse and global conflict that was, and the sort of constitution that is required for that is not going to be within him, because all he'd be left with was his sins, because his goal has been achieved. And that's why people may be sad that he died before he got to his father's basement. That was actually the best thing for him, and that's why he smacked it away. Because I think he was fairly certain. He's a smart guy. I think he's 10 out of 10 intelligence. He's a very smart guy. So I'm fairly certain he knew that there was people outside the walls. He just wanted to have the confirmation, right? But he forgot what mattered. Right? Did I bring that up with the Misabu? I hope I brought that up with the Misabu. Anyway, yeah, I did bring it up. What he missed was his times with his father. He should have cherished his times with his father more, and Niall beat him to it to getting married. He should have got married. Niall got the girl instead, and props to Niall. Honestly, I think as far as better person, honestly, I'd say that Niall's a better person. Again, it's so weird to call people good people, but Niall's a better person than him, right? Everyone's he doesn't have a kid, doesn't have a wife for obvious reasons. He's too committed to the Silver Corps, and he does, and he uses his comrades as pawns, in the most pure sense. In any of the story, this guy would be a maniacal villain, but he's not, and that's what makes him so beautiful. Is that you can see this guy who's doing these great things, and he's again more complicated than that, because he's not exactly doing it just for himself. He also is doing it for humanity. It's just himself as his first priority. So you got a lot of cool motivation. You got a lot of cool Larry in there. You got and he really is a bad guy. He says he's a bad guy with exactly. So there's no dispute about that. And what did Armin call him? A cruel and wicked man? Or no, ruthless and evil man is what he called it in season 1. And of course, this dude has the apart from Aaron, has the best death in the entire show. This dude is, I hate to use this word ironically, but this dude is a certified Chad, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was the OG devil. He was the devil before Aaron became the devil. Aaron was, and he's going straight to the A+ tier. And it's not because he's cool or badass. Levi's a badass, but it's because of his layered and his complexity and his motivations, and how backwards and original he is. Because this dude's a super villain. He's a super villain in another show, but this show makes him a hero, and in my opinion, he's a hero. All right, Amir. Do I need to release? I've pretty much everything I said about Amir. Pretty much everything I said about Astoria I said about Amir. The only problem with Amir is that Amir sort of has Armin's ideology. Sort of, not really. I'll put her in the A tier. I think Astoria has more, screen time, which gives her more exposition, and she has more of a story, more of an arc. But yeah, everything I said about Ymir, about Astoria, just input that into Ymir. Very good character, and also very, very beautiful scene. Right, when she wakes up and she sees the stars. Yeah, incredible stuff there. So yeah, A+ tier, A tier. All right, Yonkapo. I mean, he's a Yonkapo. I wish I could put him in just an A tier, but I know he gets way more screen time to put him in the NA tier. God, a Yonkapo. Yeah, I'll put him in the C tier. Not to say about Yonkapo. Cool guy, cool dude. But you don't really get into his head. You don't really get to pick his brain apart. You don't really get to discover who he is. So, understandably, I have to put him in the C tier. All right, I forgot who this guy's name was. Oh, yeah, he died in this the fourth or third arc. Irrelevant. Mr. Leonhardt. I gotta put you in the NA again. Sorry, buddy. This is Reiner's mom. Where did I? Yeah, I'll take you down. I don't know who this person is. Yeah, you're gonna go. This is actually Reiner's mom. You're going straight to the C tier. Where did she go? All these faces is so hard to keep track. Alright, anyway, Reiner's mom's supposed to be in the C tier. I'll find her eventually. Or not. Alright, Ymir. Actually, this is a really interesting one. I'm actually going to put her in NA. Actually, yes. Now, there's a couple of things about Ymir that people really, Ymir friends, that people really misunderstand, is that she's supposed to be a mystery. She's one of the mystery elements of the show. I think people keep forgetting just how much of a mystery show this is, because they get distracted by other things. But she is a mystery character, and she's not supposed to be revealed until 121, right, or 122. And she doesn't even speak. I mean, this girl literally has her tongue cut out, so she cannot speak. So there really is no reason to be angry about her lack of development, because A, it's the mystery, and B, she has her tongue cut out, and we never ever see things from her perspective ever. And we do see things from her perspective, but it means that we never get to hear her thoughts. So yeah, she's really a plot element more than anything else, just like Mikasa. Although Mikasa has actually other stuff about her, but very, she's not really supposed to be a well-written character at all, and that's perfectly fine. And again, Isayama can afford to do that. Most shows cannot afford to do that. He actually can. Look at these people. Lots, even down to the B tier. Got lots of amazing people. We got great people in the C tier, right? So he can afford to do that, and he knows he can, and he takes full advantage of that. So, good on him for doing that. So of course she's supposed to parallel Mikasa. Mikasa's a slave to Eren. She's a slave to the king. Once Mikasa kills Eren, she's able to get rid of the Titans and be free and all that stuff. Really cool stuff, very inspiring, very nice stuff. So on and so forth. So yeah, that's why she's in the NA tier, right? She really is supposed to be the in-depth role-playing character. She's, whatever. Now, another thing people are confused about, and they rightfully are confused about, Oh, that's where she is. And when I say rightfully, I don't really mean rightfully. I mean it's understandable. You shouldn't be confused. But what happens is, she gets. Aaron comes to her and he says, you're no slave, you're no god, you're just a person. And she's emotional about it, and we all think that she's freed at this point. And that's why people think that 139 is a retcon. Which is strange because obviously he said in the train, you're the most important to me. I want you guys to live long happy lives. And 130 he says, I want you guys to live long happy lives. 130, the chapter you guys keep quoting for your nonsense. Why he didn't get rid of the colossal right then and there, I have no clue. Right? I don't know why he didn't do that if it was 121. The reason that she obeys Aaron's because her plan is going to cliff. She planned for this to happen. She's been waiting for Mikasa waiting for someone to parallel her and to make the right decision. And obviously Mikasa's that person. As I said before, the reason why she waited 2,000 years, not that I need to explain this to you, but not that it needs to be justified, but the reason why she was waiting 2,000 years is because someone had to commit a global sin and then do the right thing, right? Because she was committing a global sin. Aaron was committing a global sin, and then Mikasa stepped in and stopped it. So that's why it took so long. And that's why she was getting emotional, because her plan was coming together for Mikasa to set up Mikasa to kill him. Right, because he didn't know everything, and he's confused when he's like getting chained or something. He's like confused, and then he has to break. He's like screaming, he breaks it, and then she's like, okay, he's serious, and that's when she gets emotional. That's when she, starts to change course, just like Mikasa, right? Because Mikasa was sort of freed twice, right? Because when she killed Aaron, she was free. She was still moping and sitting by his grave for indeterminate amount of time, so she wasn't completely free. And then when Aaron wrapped the scarf around her finally and understood her finally, then she was really free. So the parallels between Mikasa and Amir actually run really, really deep, deeper than initially thought. All right, Naz, I think is what this guy's name is. Let me just check, see if that's right. Huh. The fascist subtext of Tekatine can't be overlooked. I don't know what this guy's name is. Yeah, I've never watched. Have you guys seen that? I wonder who wrote that article and why. Alright, this guy, I forgot his name, Naz, whatever. He was in the Trost arc. He was going to run away because he had a daughter, but then he decided to come back. He also was unfortunately killed by Connie. Very sad stuff. But unfortunately not enough screen time. And I'll put him in the F tier. No, the NA. No, I'll put him in the D tier. Alright. Is this the military policeman? Sonus? Was that his name? Yeah, it was Sonus. Pretty sure that's what his name was. Yep. This has got to be Sonus. Okay, Sonus is great. And Sonus, I keep forgetting to bring this up. I knew there was another foreshadow missing. Sonus is a great character because he also reiterates a core theme, right? Which is he actually reiterates the cycle of violence. He's at a pivotal point in Survey Corps history, where the Survey Corps A is no longer fighting Titans, and B, as Armin puts it, is no longer the good guy, right? Because now they're killing humans now. And it's funny because we were all like, "What are you talking about, Armin? You're not the good guys. They're killing bad humans for a good cause." And I'm sure you can see where that led, right? It led to Aaron killing, 80% of the world for a good cause, a very good cause. And it led to, Connie and Alliance killing people for a good cause. And it also led to Reiner and Annie killing people for a good cause, right? So, yeah, again, usually a very, very ridiculous line that's backed up by nothing in other media, portrayed very beautifully with this character. And I hope I'm right about that. I really hope that's definitely Sonus. And of course, he reiterates the cycle of violence. Once one actor leaves, the other actor comes and takes its place, right? He was torturing the priest. Forgot Pastor Nick. That's his name. Yes, Pastor Nick. he was torturing him, he got tortured himself by Hanji. You know, once one leaves, the other takes its place. Once Eldia fell, Marley took its place. That's the cycle of violence right there. A beautiful example. And of course, once, you know, if there is no Eldians, then another actor will rise up and take the place of the aggressor again. They'll continue to fight each other. So, again, not that much screen time, but incredibly impactful. I gotta put him in the A tier. Yeah, very impactful guy. Very, very good. Core theme. He doesn't get much screen time, but he's a core theme of the story. Alright, we're reaching the end. King, the fake king. Who is this guy's name? I forgot this guy's name. This guy is absolutely worthless. There's no reason why I should even bother talking about him for 4 seconds. Yeah. The King, Carl, 145, no, 145. OG, the first king. King Fritz. Now, while most people, you know, don't like this guy. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people when I say this. This feels gonna piss a lot of people off. I actually prefer this guy over Armin and the rest of them, simply because he did what he needed to do for his nation, and yeah. That's that, and I love how their conflict is never, it never gives a reason why this conflict started, and I'm glad, because again, the same reason why it doesn't give a reason why the war started. There's no reason why we need to know. All he knows that a war happened because that's what human beings do, right? And he was being a certainly better leader than Armin was, because he was trying to protect his nation from the Marleyans, whatever the Marleyans did. I don't know. Did they deserve it? Did they not deserve it? That's not the question we're supposed to be asking, because Marley ended up doing awful things, as we know, and you're only a victim until you have power. Of course, he's irrelevant because he has no. we barely ever see him, and also, yeah, NA. And now, for the moment you have all been waiting for, and we're still within a reasonable time, freaking one. I had to say one of, because I've not watched all of anime, but one of the best characters in all of anime, certainly the best in mainstream television, an incredibly well-written, original, layered, complex, whatever you want to say, whatever cliche, this is your guy. Now, by no means will my summary of him be a complete objective, and you'll notice that I have not shot a video about him, and not shot a video about him because I have to research that inside and out, not to leave anything out, and that's going to take a long time, and I'm working on other videos as well, but yes, you are going straight, and I'm sure a lot of you guys saw us along the way. It's getting too big. Where do you go? God forbid you go in. You are going straight to S, Superior. This guy, and I'm gonna have to give a quick summary here, but this Eren Yeager is an incredible character because, well, number one, let's just go with number one. There's usually two main types of character development, right? There's the linear one that's just straight, right? Then there's the arc, right? Sort of like, think of Reiner, think of Gabby. Where does Gabby? Think of Reiner, think of Gabby, right? Those are the actual arcs, right? He stays. There's also linear ones. Great example of this in the MCU would be Iron Man is an arc. Captain America is linear, right? And this is by no means a summary, a complete treatment of Eren, but he is both of these at the same time. That's the really cool part. Now, again, season 4 tricked a lot of people, especially season 4 part 1. Season 4 part 1 is really when people start to fall off, and really start to deeply misunderstand the story. One of the great misconceptions that I think was solved up pretty quickly, but was still a deep misconception, was this guy changed, or he got evil, right? I think a lot of us knew better than that. A lot of us really knew he did not, get evil or change. He was the same character the entire time, right? The same person. You said he exterminated all his enemies. Said it back then, and as I said a bunch of times, when he's saying when he's killing the kidnappers, he's saying you're animals. He's right, calling them animals. He says when he went to his dad, he said they're animals disguised as humans, right? And what does he call times? In some translations, sometimes he calls them animals, right? And then when he's when he starts rumbling, he says he'll kill them, every last one of those animals / monsters that are on this earth. Very cool stuff there, right? Because we got him. He stayed the same. He stayed consistent the entire time. And Niall brings this up about, how it was in self-defense, hint, hint, wink, wink, but the the violence of the action for such a young child should not be underestimated by any means. Another thing which I really like is how would you say that? How would you conjugate that? The literary irony of his character as well. Something that I really appreciate, which again we don't see a lot in postmodern characters. And when I say postmodern, again, I'm referring to the time period of postmodernism, not the actual philosophy of postmodernism. But you don't really see this a lot, right? We see again we have Matthew Patrick talked about how The Good Place is one of the best television shows on now, and it's so good. And I'm like, okay, I mean, Good Place is great, but I mean, like, seriously, one of the best television shows in your generation. And the reason why I'm bringing up Matthew Patrick is because this dude has seen Attack on Titan. That's the problem I have with him. He's seen it. We know he's seen it. He's seen season 1 and he's seen season 2. So yeah, I have a serious issue with that. And it's the most popular show in the world, in the United States right now. Not in the world, but in the United States, where he lives. So why is he doing a video about it? I don't know. I'm sorry for bringing my personal beef into this, but the reason I'm saying this is I'm not bringing this up solely to vent on Matthew Patrick. I bring this also up to say that you do not see this a lot in television, right? And what I mean when I say literary irony is I mean he's a guy who's obsessed with freedom, but he has the ability to see an uncontrollable, unalterable future. And again, I say this over and over again, I do believe that time has a one timeline. I could be swayed otherwise that there's multiple timelines, but I'm fairly certain, it's a stack of proof that's pretty high, that it's untrue. The fact that we have this classical literary irony where he's able to, he has this unquenchable thirst for freedom, yet he's the only character in this, besides maybe Amir, who, can see an uncontrollable, unalterable future. Another cool thing about him that's original, and we're talking about originality. He's not that smart at all. Again, the famous. I actually didn't know this is a famous meme until recently, but the 3 out of 10 wits, right? That's a great example of that. He's not a very intelligent character at all, and he's not that special, and we know he's not special. I've been saying he's not special. I've one of my many beefs with him is that he was not a very special guy at all. I hated his guts for the longest time. And again, in school, Cassie says he's not special. Carla says he's not special, right? He's not special at all. But unlike most protagonists, like Mika says, is your usual protagonist. Zeke too, right? Royal blood, right? But he's not special at all, and he's not intelligent either. Most of the protagonists are supposed to be these highly intelligent people. He's not that intelligent at all. He's an average guy, but he is the main character. Right, and the other thing about him that I like is his character motivations. This is for me personally. Okay, you don't have to like this. That's fine if you don't like this. But for me personally, the reason why I like him so highly, the reason why I like him, is his main motivation is romantic love, which I cannot find. Maybe love of God. Definitely love of God, but they don't believe in God, as I already mentioned. But so yeah, in this world, I cannot find a better motivation than romantic love to do something, and that's what he does, right? But he's more than that, as most of you are proving right now by angrily taking to the comments and breaking your keyboard by the sheer ferocity at which you're typing, no one's cared about freedom, he wants to keep moving forward, and you know, writing. Yeah, 100%. He also did care about his freedom, his personal freedom. Yeah, let's call having a layered character. Okay, someone who has multiple motivations. But the question why did Aaron start the rumbling isn't a simple one. And that's why I rarely, if ever, answer those questions in core. Why would I answer that? It's not. First off, I don't even know. I don't want to spoil you. Number one, I don't know what you don't explain where you are in the story. Number one. Number two, that's not really a question you should be asking until the end. Again, I hate to use myself as an example for this. I really do, but I'm gonna have to. When I was reading this, again, I was full support for Aaron, full support for the Jaegers, but I did not, waste my time trying to read the tea leaves or decipher what he was doing before the story finished, because nothing is as it seems in the story at all. We're ignorant about so many things from season 1 down to chapter 138. We don't know anything. So, and it's always a plot twist, and we should have all been smarter than that. And so, that's a nonsensical question to ask if you haven't finished the series. If you have finished the series, I just don't want to waste my time typing that out to you. It's a very long answer. Why did he start the rumbling? Well, why did he start the rumbling, right? He started because, yeah, he wanted freedom. He was very disappointed, because contrary to popular belief, Aaron knew Perry was going to get destroyed before he rumbled. And that's why Sash, gotta love the guy, shout out to Sash, but he got this really wrong. What did he say? Aaron didn't know Perry got destroyed. I want to say to Aaron, but let's listen to you. So he knew cult's principle. So he knew that there's humans is going to be awful. So he was hoping for them there not to be humans outside of the walls, because he knew if there's humans outside of the walls, there's going to be issues. Whether they're, he didn't have a category for race or nationality. All he knew was that there's humans, it's going to be terrible. I want it to be just an empty wasteland of stuff we can explore, right? And speaking of that, and of course, and no, I'm going to talk about that later, and so he rumbles because he wants everything to be gone, right? And that's why Armin didn't stop him. He already knew that Mikasa was going to be alive, which is his first priority. And notice that he knew Mikasa would be alive. So that's why he was completely fine with risking everyone else's life. Well, not completely fine, but he was okay with the fact that he was going to risk everyone else's life because he knew that Mikasa's number one priority would be alive. Right? So he rumbles because he wants the world to be rid of humans for his own selfish purposes, and that's why he's only able to tell us to Ramsey, because a lot of people say this, I don't know, because he was talking to the people who was beating him up, or maybe he wasn't, I don't know, but a lot of people say he was talking to Ramsey about this because he didn't understand his language, right? He was, pleasing, so disappointed, and of course he'd be disappointed, and that's why when he says, we kill our enemies over there, we'll finally be free, he wasn't referring to just the Marlins, he was referring to everybody, right? Yeah, so, and of course, he did care about Eldia. Of course he cared about Eldia. He was being persecuted, his freedom was being taken away, and of course he cared about Eldia. And he wanted to protect his nation just like anyone else would. And that's why he rumbles. There's lots of reasons why he rumbles and why he does what he does. Another cool thing about him is that, as I said before, he's both of those things at the same time. He does have a character arc, because in the beginning he's a very selfish individual. He only cares about himself, only cares about his freedom, and again, in season 1, when he's going off on his spiels, we're behind him. We have his back because what he's saying makes sense, and he's being a very brave person by doing what he's doing. But he's only concerned with himself and his personal freedom, and when he sacrifices his life for Mikasa and for Armin and for everyone else, that is when he has sort of an arc. Is what I mean, where he develops. His character actually develops. Yeah. So another thing about him, of course, relating to Mikasa, is the fact that their story was a very well done love story. Very well done. Because he went throughout his entire life completely missing on Armin's principle, right? Did not notice the beautiful day when it was right there. And he had Mikasa in his life. He loved her a lot. He wrapped a scarf around her, showed her what it was like to find warmth in physical warmth and emotional warmth in the world. And he does not understand her the entire time, and that's why he says only Amir knows, because he does not know that Mikasa loves him. That's why he says only Amir knows, because he doesn't know that Mikasa parallels Amir, because he doesn't know that Mikasa loves him. So he goes along with this taking freedom the entire time, not knowing how she feels about him and what he actually has in her, that being freedom. But when he dies, you see, I said before that he dies sort of like Kenny and Erwin, right? Because Kenny dies a free man, a happy man, because he again, it's sort of hard to explain, but sort of like Leo said, he gave up on his dreams and died. Instead of becoming a very, and we'll get to Aaron's bitterness later on, but instead of chasing his dreams endlessly, he instead decided to actually go to the end result of his dream. He instead decided to stop, look around him, stop and smell the roses, look at the beautiful sky, whatever you want to say, and he decided to be compassionate without having to found her, right? And then and he died, and that's when he became free, right? Erwin, same thing, right? He did something not for himself, right? For other people, right? And he did not get the injection, and he did a genuinely good and selfless thing, which he does rarely, and he was granted freedom with that. Aaron, same thing. He's chasing freedom the entire time, chasing it until he let Mikasa kill him, and in which case then I said I can very easily be swayed on this. He was free because he made that sacrifice he did something selfless and genuine, and so. But then after that, of course, after he's dead, then Mikasa and him finally come to an understanding about their mutual love for each other, and that is just, it's very sad, and of course, it couldn't just be mushy, I love you, you love me, kind of story, because this is Attack on Titan, for goodness sakes. But yeah, really cool stuff there. Another thing about Eren is he teaches the audience, just because you're right doesn't mean that you should pursue that thing. So again, in season 1, when he's making these giant yelling matches about being a cage animal and all that other stuff, yeah, is he right? Yes, they are caged animals. Yes, they should have higher aspirations. Yes, but he lets this embitter himself. This is why the song says, "Inside it, I can feel a child of evil growing." Right? Inside, what do you say? Inside of justice, inside of sacrifice. Sacrifice, for goodness sakes, there's a child of evil growing inside me, and that would be his innate selfish desire to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And that's why when Armin asked him, why start the rumbling, he gets that memory of his dad saying to him, "You're free," right? So ironic. But when I said in my last video that Armin's greatest strength, one of his greatest strengths, I wouldn't say his greatest strength, but his greatest circumstance I have with him is that his time on this earth is limited. So he's guaranteed to be able to explore everything he wants to spend his life exploring and finding new things, because his time on this earth is limited. And there's more things in the world than he can possibly get to know. So that's why his short lifespan is a blessing to him. That is actually a curse to Eren, because his lifespan is limited, which means that he can never actually attain freedom, right? Every sort of freedom would be a joke to him, because he can never actually attain that thing, because his time is limited, right? So, and of course, this is why I bring up season 1, because we know that it wasn't just a Titan told Mecha's freedom. Next is time. Next is money. Next is blah, 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 blah. That's why Kenny says everyone's a slave to something. So a salary man is a slave to his boss, right? He has to take time away from his wife and kids and his hobbies and go to work for, 40 hours a week. And actually in Japan, it's much more than that. But and the reason why I bring up Japan is because this is a manga series. So a salary man is a slave to his boss. Now his boss, the owner of the business, is a slave to money. He constantly is, chasing after money, sacrificing much more time than the salaryman, and much more of his mind than the salaryman to money. But money gives him sort of autonomy. He's able to go where he wants to go, but even then he's not able to go where he wants to go because he has to conduct business, right? So the question you have to ask is, well, who really is free then, right? What is freedom, right? Obviously, it's not good if you're a slave, but if you're not, just because you're not an antebellum South slave doesn't mean that you're free. Of course not. And Aaron would soon realize this because, again, just like when he thought once he got rid of all the Titans, he'd be good. He would be good. He was wrong. Once he got rid of the Titans, it was actually more of a problem waiting for him on the other side of that. And once he got rid of his other enemies, of the human beings, there would be more problems waiting for him outside of that. Especially if the curse of Amir was still around. So, yeah. That is why he's in the S tier. Very, very great character. Very, very good character for all of us. And of course, it's my personal opinion, he has the best motivation any character could have. Are they original? No, by no means are they original. But the way it's portrayed is very original, and it's just the best motivation any character could have for any action he takes. So yes, this is my complete. Here it is, right here. This is my complete tier list for characters in Attack on Titan. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys watched all of it. I hope you guys learned from it. I hope you guys grew appreciation for characters you did not have appreciation for, and all that good stuff. Thank you for sticking around. My name is Blue the Jaegerist, and I'll see you next time.